Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
And this morning, the official Oscar nominations were released, so we now know all the people and the movies nominated for the 2017 Oscars, which the ceremony takes place about a month from now on February 26th. But there's always such a fun day where you finally get to figure out which movies are being recognized as the best, which performances are being recognized as the best, and it's always a lot of fun to see if your favorite performances and your favorite movies made the cut. So I'm going to make a couple of my predictions here early on. I'm just going to cover the about the six major categories, or at least what I consider the major categories of Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Actress, and Best Supporting Actor, Actress. So I'm going to go through, make my predictions for those categories, and let's start it off with Best Picture, where we have 9 movies nominated this year, where we have Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, Hidden Figures, Lion, Moonlight, Fences, Hell or High Water, La La Land, and Manchester by the Sea. I have almost no problems with this list, except I didn't think Lion was anything that special. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great, and I actually don't think it really deserves to be on this list, but clearly a lot of other people did. Otherwise, I think it's a great list. Now, while my personal favorite movie that appears on this list is Hacksaw Ridge, it was my number 2 favorite movie of the year, and I love that it got nominated, but honestly, I don't think it's got a chance of winning. And I think you can just about 100% bet that La La Land is indeed going to take this, is going to take Best Picture. People love this movie. Hollywood loves this movie because it's about the magic of Hollywood. I mean, it's winning awards everywhere right now. So I do believe La La Land will win Best Picture. I think that's pretty much a given. So let's move on to Best Directing, which I think is a little bit of a tighter race. Now, I was really pleasantly surprised to see Mel Gibson nominated for Hacksaw Ridge because he did an incredible job with that movie. I was just worried that the fact that it is Mel Gibson and some of the things he's done in his past were going to be held against him a little bit. Looks like Hollywood was able to overlook that for in this case, and he actually was nominated for Hacksaw Ridge, which I love. Now, honestly, I believe this is a two-horse race between La La Land and Moonlight because Moonlight is probably the most important movie of the year, and Barry Jenkins did something very, very special and really something kind of breathtaking with Moonlight. But once again, Hollywood is very much fascinated with itself. La La Land is about Hollywood. I mean, the title La La Land is a reference to Hollywood. Damien Chazelle did something incredible with reviving the musical that had not been done in so long. There really is some incredible directing there with the long single takes and sort of stuff he does. So for my prediction, well, I think this is a close race between Damien Chazelle of La La Land and Barry Jenkins of Moonlight. I do believe La La Land and Damien Chazelle win Best Director. And moving on into the acting categories, let's start off with actor in a leading role. I gotta say this is a strong list, although to be completely honest with you, as of right now, I have not seen Captain Fantastic, so I can't judge Viggo Mortensen's performance. But I do, from what things I've heard, I don't believe he's got really a chance of winning. Now, I really do love the top 3 of these nominations of Casey Affleck, Andrew Garfield, and Ryan Gosling. Andrew Garfield might have a slight advantage only because one, he was incredible in Hacksaw Ridge, but he was also incredible in Silence. And sometimes having those two movies come out, well, he couldn't be nominated for both. But maybe the fact that he was so good in both could give him an edge. I think Ryan Gosling's got a good shot simply because it's La La Land and it's the chemistry between him and Emma Stone that really make that movie work. But everybody's kind of been saying it since Manchester by the Sea came out. I think this is Casey Affleck's year. I mean, he crushed that movie. It's such a heartfelt, emotional movie that he did something we had not seen him ever do before. He absolutely crushes that movie. So I do believe Casey Affleck will go home with the Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role. And moving on to Best Actress in a Leading Role, you've got Isabelle Huppert, I believe is how you pronounce it. I've not seen Elle, actually, to be honest with you, so I really can't judge on that. I have seen the other movies, so Ruth Negga for Loving, Natalie Portman, Jackie, Emma Stone for La La Land, and Meryl Streep for Florence Foster Jenkins. Meryl Streep, you know, was going to get on this list because her name is Meryl Streep. Now, for me, this is really a two-horse race, and they're way ahead of the rest of the pack, and that is Natalie Portman and Emma Stone. Now, personally, I believe Natalie Portman gave the absolute best performance as Jackie Kennedy or Jackie Onassis. She became that character. She lived that role. It was something amazing to watch, and I really, really liked Jackie, and it was because of the way her performance just sucked me into the movie because she was so believable as it. So while I think Natalie Portman deserves the award and has got a real shot of winning it, it's gonna be Emma Stone. She's winning out the other awards. Like I said, La La Land is one of those movies, a once in a lifetime sort of movie. It's nominated for 14 Oscars total, which I believe ties the record for most nominations of all time. Emma Stone showed us something that we had not seen from her ever before, something like this. The movie really is carried on her shoulders. Yes, Ryan Gosling is great in the movie, and he's a big part of it, but it's very much Emma Stone's movie. So I'm definitely going to go with Emma Stone taking the Oscar for actress in a leading role, although I think Natalie Portman personally gave the best performance. All right, and into actor in a supporting role, you've got Mahershala Ali for Moonlight, Jeff Bridges for Hell or High Water, Lucas Hedges for Manchester by the Sea, Dev Patel for Lion, and Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. I love that Michael Shannon made this because he was getting left off of a lot of other awards, and he is so good at Nocturnal Animals. I actually wish Jake Gyllenhaal maybe showed up on this list or even Best Actor because he was great in that movie. And Nocturnal Animals didn't have a great marketing campaign, and it was sold as an Amy Adams movie, and it is not at all. It is very much Jake Gyllenhaal's movie, and Michael Shannon is unbelievably good in that movie. It is a really good movie too that I really suggest people watch if you haven't seen it. Like I said, I didn't love Lion, and I actually didn't. I thought Dev Patel was good in it, but I thought it was kind of like one note, a lot of just kind of crying to me, to be honest with you. No problem with all these others. I love that Jeff Bridges made this for Hell or High Water, but I actually, of his movie, I actually thought Ben Foster was the best part of that movie. It's a fantastic movie, but Ben Foster's character in that movie is unbelievably good, and I actually would have put him on this list over Jeff Bridges personally, but that didn't happen, so there's that. And then we get to Mahershala Ali in Moonlight. This guy is suddenly burst onto the scene with Luke Cage, where he played Cottonmouth. Then you had Moonlight, and then he was in Hidden Figures as well. And while he's only in the movie for about 20 minutes, he really is a major part of it and what the story is and unfolds, and the impact his character has on other characters in the movie as a whole. And this is a tough race, but I actually do believe Mahershala Ali will win this, especially because he was in Moonlight, and Moonlight is a very award-friendly sort of movie. So I do believe Mahershala Ali will win the Oscar for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. All right, and lastly, we get to Best Actress in a Supporting Role, and this is probably the tightest race of all of these. There is not a clear frontrunner in any of these, because you've got Viola Davis for Fences, Naomi Harris for Moonlight, Nicole Kidman for Lion, Octavia Spencer for Hidden Figures, and Michelle Williams for Manchester by the Sea. Now, Octavia Spencer is curious to me because I thought of all the characters in Hidden Figures, she was in it the least and had the least impact on me personally. I thought Janelle Monáe and Taraji P. Henson were much more present in the movie, played a much larger role, and were more of the standout. So I'm curious as to why Octavia Spencer made the list. But otherwise, like I said, this is such a hard race to call because it could go to Viola Davis, Naomi Harris, or Michelle Williams. Now, I honestly think Michelle Williams was the best out of all of them. Like, her performance is the one that I really, really liked the most. Naomi Harris had a very haunting kind of role that was something unlike you had ever really seen her do. But I'm going to go out and say I believe Viola Davis wins this. She really stole the show in Fences. I mean, Denzel was incredible. Don't get me wrong there. But Viola Davis is what centers that movie, grounds that movie, and gives it the emotional core that really resonates with you as an audience member. And because she's been nominated so many times before, I think this is one of those times with the Oscars and the Academy goes, let's give it to her. She deserves it both for this movie and her previous work. I mean, people have started saying, watch out for her to be the next Meryl Streep, which I think is a little extreme and way too early to call that. But I do believe Viola Davis will win this. And I think her speech at the Golden Globes about Meryl and all of the impact she had on her, I really do believe that almost that it helped her cause because Viola Davis becomes so well liked. She put in an incredible performance. She's had an incredible career up to this point. So I do believe Viola Davis will win the Best Supporting Actress Oscar. But there you guys have it. Those are my main category prediction for the Oscars, the main 6 categories of Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor and Actress, and Best Supporting Actor and Actress. Now these are tough. Like I said, I've seen most of these movies. There's still a couple I need to see, but I do stand by my predictions. This year's a little tougher than last year. I thought last year it was relatively obvious in a lot of categories who was a standout and who's going to win, but there's some categories in here that are much tougher, and it's hard to tell because the Academy sometimes votes slightly differently than a lot of us people on the outside as well, so I am curious to see how that all goes down. But I am not really upset with most of these Oscar nominations. I really wish Sing Street would have gotten in there somewhere, even a Best Picture. I honestly believe that it was my #1 movie of the year. And the fact that it didn't get nominated for Best Original Song to me is a crime. The Trolls song beat Sing Street, like, get out of here. In La La Land, while I love the music, I don't know if it needed to have 2 songs nominated. I feel like maybe you could have nominated one because it's probably and almost for sure going to win. So why not give another movie some recognition in there as well as how I think Drive It Like You Stole It definitely should have been nominated for Best Original Song. It's not just a good song for a movie, it's just a great song. I really wish it would have gotten nominated. But other than that, I'm really happy with all the other nominations. I would love to hear your guys' predictions on these. Jump in the comments and just give me your list of who you believe wins each of these categories. And make sure you're following me on Twitter at Neat Movie News for all the latest in the world of movies. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you back here next time.